It's the Concacaf Champions Cup Final this Saturday, June 1st at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time between Pachuca from Mexico and Columbus of the MLS. And that's being played in Mexico's Estadio Hidalgo. That's home of Pachuca. So not only is there the obvious home advantage for Pachuca, but there's also a massive altitude advantage with Pachuca being 8,000 feet above sea level. Columbus, meanwhile, is used to playing just 800 feet above sea level. The crew have had a busy week preparing, training with altitude masks and altitude tents. Now, Pachuca, Los Tuzos are 5-time winners of this competition, while Columbus looks to be just the second ever MLS team to win the Champions Cup or Old Champions League title, as Seattle did so in 2022. It is Columbus, though, who is at the top of the CONCACAF club rankings, being first, while Pachuca come in as third. On the line is the spot in the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup and the 2024 FIFA International Cup. Now let's get into the Champions Cup predictions for Pachuca and Columbus. Let's look at the form of the team, the odds, and some best bets for this game. If you want more soccer picks, we have MLS coming up. We have the Euros. We have the Copas coming up. Give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to get more soccer predictions. If we look at the form of these teams in this tournament, how they got here. For Pachuca, they had a bye in the first round. In the round of 16, they had 0-0 and a 6-0 win over Philadelphia. In the quarters, they won 5-0 and 2-1 over Herediano. And in the semifinals, it was 1-1 and 2-1 win over Club America. For Columbus, they also had a bye in the first round. In the round of 16, it was a 1-0 win and a 1-1 draw with Houston of the MLS. In the quarterfinals, 2 1-1 games saw them go to PKs with Tigres to advance to the semifinals, where they had an impressive 2-1 and 3-1 win over Monterrey, even winning in Mexico there. The odds for this game make Pachuca, though, the heavy favorites, playing at home at -175 to win in regulation, the draw +375. Columbus big outsiders here are +350. Now, if we look over to the odds to simply lift the trophy if this game needs extra time or PKs, Pachuca, massive favorites, -300, Columbus +225. The over, -154, the under, even money, both teams to score yes, -138, and the no, even money, +100. Those odds that I'm looking at over at Bet365. This will be the first ever head-to-head meeting between these teams, so there's no past history between them to consider. For Pachuca, during the regular season in Mexico, in the Clausura regular season, they went out in the quarterfinals to Club America, but they drew them twice, 1-1, getting knocked out by being the lower-seeded team during the regular season. And in the regular season, they were the ultimate over team. If you were an overs bettor, they had scored 34 goals, and they allowed 27 goals in just 17 games during the Clausura regular season. Now, that was the second most goals for in their games, tied with 3.6 goals per match. The over had gone 12-5, the over 2.5. The over 1.5 went 15-2. Salomon Rondon was tied for the Golden Boot lead with 8 goals in the Clausura. If you look at all competitions for them of late, though, they have 4 draws in their last 7 games. They've only scored multiple goals 3 times in their last 9, and the under has been a more trending bet, going 7-2 to under 2.5 totals. For the crew, they're 5th in the East right now in MLS, though they have played as many as 1, 2, or even 3 games fewer than some teams in MLS right now. They didn't play in midweek action this week on Wednesday. Since they knocked out Monterrey in the semis, they have a 2-1 loss, and then a 3-1 win, a 3-1 win, and a 2-0 win. All of those games on the road. Last week they won 2-0 over Orlando on the weekend. A 2-1 loss to Cincinnati in that time is their only loss across their last 13 games, and in 20 games across all competitions in 2024, only 3 times have they been held off the score sheet. Their MLS games have averaged 2.4 goals per match. They're an even 7-7 to totals bets of 2.5. The over and the under both hitting 7 times. The 13 goals allowed for the crew is a league low, so that's an impressive defensive stat as well. However, once again, they have played a few fewer games. Still, though, a very good defensive team. Big question mark for them coming into this game is the status of their star, Cucho Hernandez, who's missed the last 3 games with a back injury. However, Wilfred Nancy says he's trained normally this week, so the expectation is he should be in this game. Even still, they still have Diego Rossi in good form, who scored 4 goals with 2 assists in the crew's last 3 games. Now, for some options here and things to consider for Pachuca and Columbus predictions. Pachuca has scored in all but 1 game in this tournament, and that includes a 6-0 rout playing another MLS team, the Union. Salomon Rondon not only was tied in the Golden Boot lead in the Clausura, but he's also the tournament's goal leader in the Champions Cup with 7 goals. Pachuca, though, their season did end a few weeks back. They've been off since May 11th when they lost in the Clausura quarterfinals. Columbus have scored in every game in this tournament. However, both teams to score has also gone 5-1, so they have been conceding. They've scored 5 goals. Scoring 5 goals versus Monterrey is certainly no small feat. Certainly going into Monterrey and getting the win, that's no small feat either. Nor is scoring both games against another Mexican powerhouse like Tigres. But Columbus have just 1 clean sheet in 5 games, and they have just 6 in all of their 20 games across all competitions this season. In Pachuca's last 20 home games, they've only failed to score 3 times, and there's been 2 or more goals in 18 of their 20 games. Now, I don't believe Pachuca here should be as favored as they are. They do look heavily favored in the odds. Columbus to lift the trophy at plus 225 certainly looks like the better value at plus 225. It's when you compare the fact that Pachuca to lift the trophy would be minus 300. Even Pachuca to win in regulation, minus 175. So if you're looking for a winner, I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot between these teams. The value certainly has to be on the Crew, whether you bet them in regulation or to lift the trophy. I also think both teams to score looks like a great bet. Over at Bet365 with those odds being minus 138. Looking around, I see it already at minus 167 at a book like Caesars. And Caesars does usually have better odds when it comes to scoring props in soccer. So that minus 138 could start to move at Bet365 as well. If we look at in this tournament, the last 3 Pachuca games and the last 5 for Columbus in the Champions Cup have all hit the both teams to score bet. Pachuca may be at home here, but they were a mid-pack team in the Clausura. They went on the quarterfinals. They allowed 27 goals in 17 games, and they are up against the MLS Cup champs here. But they do have a final being played on their pitch with a big elevation advantage. To throw that all into the mixer, and to me, a bet on both teams to score looks like a great bet. Certainly better odds on a draw. I don't think there's much between these teams. A draw would give you better value, and if you were looking for a team to just win this game, I think you just have to look at the better number here, the better odds on the Crew. So if you took the Crew at plus 3, I don't think they should be as big as plus 350 in regulation or plus 225 to lift that trophy. But the easier bet, just both teams to score, hope for a goal from both. That's where I see this game going. How do you see it going? Who do you see lifting the Champions Cup trophy? Share your picks down there in the comments, and good luck.